What happens when you witness paranormal activities with your eyes? Moments when humans saw what they weren't supposed to encounter. This video is going to leave you at your edge. It was April 13th, 2021. He had all his cameras on and his mission was clear: find the man in the green cloak. But as he passed through the small village, something unexpected happened. An old man agreed to talk, but only in secret, without the cameras. He claimed about the man, the one in the green cloak, saying he couldn't speak. He wasn't dangerous, just strange. Sometimes the man would visit an abandoned house that had been empty for 2 years. The same abandoned house that was about to be explored by this YouTuber.
Уже стемнело, пока я переносил сюда все вещи. По словам этого местного жителя, здесь не живут уже как 2 года. В этом сарае, как он мне... О, с мешка. В этом сарае, как мне сказали, был забой для скота. Опа. А куда делся гроб?
The local warned him about the house near the well, which was closer to where his tent was set. Something evil lived around there. The girl who had drowned in the well once lived in that house. Her family died shortly after she did. The legend claimed that after midnight, the girl would rise from the well and walk back to her house. And it didn't stop here. As he said, demonic creatures would follow her from the depths of the well, bringing chaos to the cursed home. That night, he decided to spend the night in the house, to see if the legend was true.
Все свои вещи и дожидаться 12 ночи. Уже 21:01. Попробовал все же. Электричество, да, здесь реально нету. Расставил камеры. Одну камеру здесь. Это с ночным режимом. Одну GoPro в этом углу. Фокус пропал. Так. Одну с ночным режимом здесь. GoPro там. Так, все, друзья, буду дожидаться 12 часов. Сейчас 23:50. Осталось... Опа.
At 11:50 p.m., he could feel shivers running down his spine. The silence was suffocating. Every creak of the old house seemed louder in the stillness. Just 10 minutes left, then it was April 13th, 12 a.m.
Время 58 минут. Пока все тихо. 59 минут. Опа. «13 апреля, 12:00. Пока полная тишина. Все камеры я еще не включал, все. Вот сейчас что-то стукнуло.
At first, nothing, just silence. But then, a faint sound, like a creak, came from outside. His heart raced. He prayed it wasn't the man in the green cloak. Then the shed door moved slowly. He could hear his heart beating fast. He remembered the old man's warning. Mirrors hold paranormal energy. He turned on all his cameras, hoping to capture something. Anything.
Надеюсь, это не тот мужик. Фонарик. Кто там? Охренеть.
Then, out of the corner of his eye, he saw something moving across the windows. He wasn't sure anymore. His mind was playing tricks, but it felt real. Suddenly, the front door swung open with a violent crash. The air was electric, like he had been shocked. He felt a sharp pain in one of his hands with which he was recording.
Обычно вся паранормальная энергетика возле зеркала, либо в зеркале. Видео вроде реально сейчас двинулась книга. Или это мне показалось?
For the next half hour, the house was eerily quiet, save for a few loud bangs coming from the walls. He turned off the lights, relying only on his night mode cameras. It was 4:03 a.m. when the knocks started. First on the windows, then the doors.
Током ударило. Охренеть. Вот, друзья, на время я на улицу лучше. Что-то мне здесь реально не по себе. Полчаса, как уже полная тишина. Пока что ничего не происходит. Пару раз только вот здесь грох и в дверь.
Just as quickly as it began, it stopped. The dawn broke, and the house was calm as if nothing happened during the night.
Все, уже рассвет, все прекратилось. Думаю, что сюда еще раз нужно будет вернуться, но уже с ИГФ. Вот тот колодец. На свой инстаграм я всегда загружаю фото с новых видео, поэтому, друзья, подписывайтесь на мой инстаграм, ссылка будет в описании, а также на группу ВКонтакте. Всем пока.
He knew he had to come back, but next time he wouldn't be alone. He'd bring proper ghost hunting gear. The well outside, though, that was something he wouldn't forget. With that being said, let's move on to our second case. On April 19th, 2022, this YouTuber decided to record paranormal activities inside an abandoned old house. Everything seemed quite normal at the start, but things were about to take a very horrifying turn.
Pessoal, eu peguei a outra câmera, tá? Essa minha câmera aqui, tá? Bateria cheia. Não muito, mas encheu bastante. Tem muito tempo aqui ainda, tá? Cara, é impressionante, pessoal. Isso me arrepia aqui dentro, que vocês não têm noção. Opa!
Once he was done settling his camera in the living room, he decided to explore the dining room for one more time. Little did he know it would become his nightmare in the next few seconds.
Dá uma olhada nisso, pessoal.
While he was trying to set another paranormal device on the table, he got hit by a chair that came flying out of nowhere. Not only that, when he turned to his camera to review the footage, the chairs in the dining area got stacked upon one another in the meantime. Isn't it scary? Was some ghost doing all this? But things get even more horrifying when he starts observing the ceiling.
Opa. Cara. Pessoal, a câmera tá aqui no tripé, tá? Ela acaba tombando, ela faz isso aqui, ó. Depois eu mostro pra vocês ali no espelho como que é que acontece, tá? Opa. Cara, olha isso, pessoal. Cara, dá uma olhada nisso, mano. Dá uma olhada nisso, pessoal. Cara, eu tô inteiro arrepiado. Pra vocês aqui, ó, tá? O que acontece com a câmera aqui, certo? Ela acaba fazendo isso aqui, pessoal. Acaba fazendo isso, tá?
Everything around him was giving him a sign to leave this house as soon as possible. Someone, or something, was not happy about his presence there. The suitcase tilting on its own and tap running water when no one else was even around. It was enough to believe that he was surrounded by something that was out of this world. Something paranormal. While he was lying on the table, the mattress that he had just picked up from the floor tried to cover the door, as if the spirits don't want their activities to be recorded like this.
Cara, a presença de que tem algo próximo a mim aqui é impressionante.
The blood on the floor and crossings everywhere around the house were a clear representation of him being unlinked by whatever creature was living around the house. This case proves that whatever was inside that abandoned house didn't want to be disturbed, leaving the YouTuber with terrifying evidence of a very real and unsettling paranormal presence. Let's move on to our third case. On May 8th, 2018, in Hadera, this man had just moved into his new house, alone and excited, but that excitement quickly turned to terror. While unpacking, a loud banging came from the next room. He froze as no one else was there. Shivers ran down his spine as he went to check. When he reached the door, it was slamming shut on its own again and again with no one behind it. So what was causing these insane banging voices? No wind around the house, but just banging, like something trapped inside wanted out. His phone shook in his hands as he recorded it, realizing this wasn't just a house. It was haunted. Something sinister was there, and it didn't want him around. Moving on to our eeriest paranormal activity till now. On January 6, 2021, in Pakistan, in a village far from the city, this YouTuber decided to visit a construction site that had been closed for quite a while. He stood in the empty field, staring at the old house in the distance. The house was meant to be a new building, but something about it felt wrong. The laborers had told them about strange events. He remembered how they whispered about stones being thrown and tools moving on their own, and soon all the rumors he heard about this place were about to come true.
तो दोबारा उन्होंने फिर इस मकान को बनाने की कोशिश की है और सेम वही उनके साथ वाक़यात पेश आए हैं। तो वो कहते हैं कि यहाँ पर काफ़ी खौफज़दा हो चुके हैं। वो कहते हैं कि यहाँ पर हमें काम करना बहुत मुश्किल हो चुका है, क्योंकि यहाँ पर ये एक मकान, यहाँ पर ना आसे पास इसके कोई इतनी आबादी नहीं है। तो ये मैंने आपको पहले ही बताया था कि एक ऐसी हवेली थी जो काफ़ी सालों पुरानी थी, उसे ख़त्म करके तो उसी जगह पर ये अल्लाहु अकबर इमारत दोबारा बनानी।
The more they stayed, the clearer it became. Something was haunting this place. But it became obvious when they turned their camera from one room to another.
वो देखिए वो क्या चीज़ खड़ी है। ये वही चीज़ मैंने पहले भी देखी थी यहाँ पर। देखिए कैसे आस्ता आस्ता चल रही है। अल्लाहु अकबर। देखें इस तरफ ही आ रही है, इधर को जा रही है। देखें नाज़रीन, इस जगह पर ये चीज़ मैंने देखा है।
Just like that, the figure disappeared. The rumors about witches performing black magic were enough to understand the haunting aura all over this place. And now he has witnessed it all with his own eyes.
ये क्या चीज़ हो सकती है जो बड़ी आस्ता आस्ता चल रही है। अभी थोड़ी देर पहले इसने कुछ आवाज़ भी निकाली थी। अल्लाह अकबर, अल्लाह अकबर। देखे मुझे इसी चीज़ ने जोर से धक्का दिया। ये देखे, ओए ओए, अल्लाह अकबर, अल्लाह अकबर। ओए ये देखे, काफ़ी घबराहट से महसूस हुई मुझे। मैं तो परेशान ही हो गया था काफ़ी। ये देखें, यहाँ किसी ने, ये देखें कितनी ज़मीन यहाँ पर, इतनी गीली ज़मीन पर किसी ने आग जलाई है। अल्लाह अकबर। उस तरफ से तो मुझे ऐसे लगा जैसे मेरी तरफ आ रही हो वो चीज़। अल्लाह अकबर। ये देखें, मैं जिधर को भी जाता हूँ मेरे आगे की तरफ खड़ी होती है।
Was it a ghost or some evil witch trying to scare this man off? He couldn't shake the feeling that something evil was living in that place. With that being said, let's move on to our fifth piece of paranormal footage. On September 8th, 2022, in Long Beach, on the Queen Mary, room B340. He was suddenly hanging out there when, all of a sudden, the air felt eerie, and even the ticking sound of the clock became obvious.
Ask it one last
We've been
time.
doing challenges, but I saw the washroom door open. I will never unsee that. I forget.
It's moving.
Suddenly, the hanger on the closet rattled and swayed as if something unseen had touched it. Before he could react, the door slammed shut with a force that shook the walls. Chills ran down their spines and they ran to save themselves. But what were those paranormal forces?
I will never unsee that. I forget.
It's moving.
What's going on? Oh my god!
Bro, what the hell is happening, bro?
Will they ever be able to hang out in this room again? With these questions still in our minds, let's move on to our next piece of paranormal footage. On July 2nd, 2013, in a cemetery during a bright, sunny day, they couldn't believe what they were witnessing. A girl, dressed in all white, was running through the cemetery. She was barefoot, her hair wild, and was just walking across the graveyard.
I've been recording the whole time. Yo, me and Eon seen this bitch walking through the cemetery,
blowing it,
running through the cemetery and landed on a f***ing tombstone.
Yeah, she was blowing it. She landed on the tombstone. She was blowing it. Hey, what you doing, girl?
Yo, that shit is creepy as.
What the?
What happened?
What the you doing?
Why she touching other people's graves?
Yo, she just bust her head on the other grave though.
Did she?
She got on no shoes, bro.
What she just grabbed?
A flower. She just grabbed a flower. She got on no shoes.
The boogie be watching a f***ing ghost. She. Yo, don't say nothing to her. Don't say nothing to her. I'm scared as shit. Cause what if she, nigga, she knows where you live, nigga? Like, across the street from the cemetery.
I'll shoot that.
Nigga, this is crazy.
Yo, what the? Yo, I see. Yo, where the blunt at? Pass the blunt. Pass the blunt. I cannot. Nah. She was blowing it. Did you see how she tripped over that tombstone?
She landed on a tombstone.
On it, on her head. And she planned this. Yo!
There's no way in fuck she planned this, boogie.
Yo!
She ain't answering nobody. She ain't look at us.
Yo, girl, the whole way!
Yo, girl, no way.
You scaring me! You really scaring me! You scaring the shit out of me! Yo! You scaring the shit out of me!
She tripped and hit her head on a grave, but didn't make a sound. She stood up and started spinning and laughing, but something about it felt wrong.
Go home! Go home!
Yo, Boogie, she gonna come back and she gonna be sitting right in front of your house, nigga. And I'm gonna pop that bitch. Yo, she ran through the cemetery and was walking.
Yo, I wish I still had that BB gun.
Yo, you gotta let her go. Maybe she's like hurting or
Why
something.
was she running that fast though?
But why she just stopped and take
Why she
someone
got
else?
all white?
She took someone else's flower, nigga.
She's swinging it. She's having fun, B. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go karate kick this.
Yo, this is
She
the
ran?
creepiest shit that I've ever seen in my life.
My nigga, yo, bitch had a picnic in there the other day.
Picnic, nigga. She has on all white and she's running and jumping on people's
on
tombstones. Yo, you crazy bitch.
You look crazy.
Nigga, she's jumping on people's tombstones.
What? And she, oh my god.
She's spinning this shit? Nah.
World Star.
World Star. Where'd she go?
World Star.
Where'd she go?
See, there's a man.
She took flowers from someone else's grave, not even noticing that someone was watching all of her moves. They whispered and tried to draw her attention, but the girl kept moving, dancing around like she didn't belong in this world.
Hold on, she went behind the tombstone. She went behind that tombstone right there, that big one. Yo, Mo. Yo, Mo, she's gone, Mo. Yo, Mo, she's gone.
Go, pass the blunt.
Nah, f up. But we gotta find her.
No, I don't want to find
I'm holding this camera like that. Take that. I'm holding this camera until she come out from behind that tombstone.
Yo, she's not coming back.
Nigga, she's gone. Where the did she go? We watched her walk behind the tombstone and she's gone. Where you go? Where you go?
Yo.
What is that?
Oh, no.
Suddenly, she ran behind a tombstone and just vanished into thin air. They stared, waiting for her to come back, but she was just gone. And in that moment, he knew she wasn't human.
Boogie, where the f does she go? She went behind that tombstone right there. I'm got the camera on the tombstone because I see when she went.
Is that her? No, that's a tree.
No, nigga, she went behind the f***ing tombstone. That one. God damn it, I can't even point out which one, nigga. I'm gonna try to point out. It's that one.
Yeah,
if you can see where my finger's at, she went behind that tombstone right there, right in front of my finger.
Yo, we moving.
Nigga, she went behind the tombstone and she's gone, nigga. Nigga, yeah, I'm done. I'll record again when this comes back out from behind the tombstone.
With this paranormal eerie footage coming to an end, let's move on to our next footage. On October 22nd, 2022, this YouTuber stood at the edge of the dark forest, waiting to witness some legit paranormal activity. The last time he was here, someone told him about a creature that looked like a tree, a creature wandering in the shadows. Now he had returned, determined to find it.
Привет, ты снова на канале Искатель Призраков. Многие меня просили, чтобы я оставил камеру для того, чтобы запечатлеть существо наподобие дерева. В прошлом выпуске я увидел какой-то непонятный объект в лесу. Что самое интересное, эта дорога находится неподалеку от дороги, где ездят машины. Я пришел специально сюда пораньше. Я хочу подготовиться. Спущусь вниз сюда, в этот каньон, где это чудище выходило. Возможно, здесь неподалеку есть его логово. Я еще пока не знаю, но очень сильно хочу разобраться. Еще отдельное спасибо хочу сказать моим спонсорам. Спасибо тебе, Winterswind, спасибо тебе, Гэби, за то, что вы оформляете спонсорство. Этим вы помогаете каналу, и благодаря вам могут выходить новые видео. Я благодарен вам, то, что вы оформляете это спонсорство ежемесячно. Ну а сейчас, друзья, я вам покажу, как выглядит этот каньон сверху, и буду спускаться туда вниз. Не переключайтесь.
The canyon below seemed like it had no end, its dark depths calling to him. He set up a circle of salt and candles, hoping to summon whatever lived in the woods.
Темнело. Нахожусь я здесь часа 3. Нарисовал круг. Поставил свечи. Пытался связаться с духами леса, но ничего не получилось. Сейчас, я надеюсь, этот свет привлечет сюда это существо. Здесь кто-то есть в этом лесу. Из потусторонних сил или сущностей.
Hour after hour passed, and the night showed no signs of any ghosts or paranormal creatures. Just as he began to lose hope, strange noises echoed from the darkness. His heart raced as something moved, something big. Is there anyone here? He whispered. He wasn't even able to speak properly.
Какие-то звуки. Не пойму откуда. Охренеть, там же камера.
Suddenly, a shadow shifted, and there it was, a towering figure like a twisted tree creeping closer. Panicked, he grabbed the camera, his legs shaking. Go away, get out, but the creature didn't stop. It was merciless. It was too late. He had summoned something far more terrifying than he could have imagined. On February 2nd, 2024, he was just a boy guarding the empty construction site when the strange things began. At first, it seemed like a trick of the wind. A chair suddenly lifted into the air, floating for a moment before crashing to the ground. His heart pounded, but it wasn't over. From the corner of his eye, he saw something move. Something white yet scary with its hair open. A creature, white as a ghost, appeared on one of the floors above him. Its movements were quick, unnatural. 1 second it was there, and then, without a sound, it was on another floor, jumping through the air like it had no weight. He couldn't believe his eyes. Every time he looked, the creature was in a different spot, like it was playing some terrifying game. The boy didn't have the slightest idea what was happening around him. Whatever this thing was, it wasn't human. And now it knew he was there. Moving on to our 9th piece of eerie footage for this video, which will leave you at the edge. On October 8th, 2023, This man stood frozen in the doorway, eyes wide as the kitchen drawers slid open and slammed shut over and over. The sound echoed through the house, each bang louder than the last. There was no one else there, just him, and whatever unseen force was playing its terrifying game. The air felt thick, like something was watching. The temperature dropped, and his breath came out in cold puffs. A shadow flickered in the corner, but when he looked, nothing was there. The drawers slammed one final time, and the room fell into an eerie silence. What kind of forces were trying to scare him? Will he stop living in this house? With that being said, let's move on to our last piece of footage for this video. On March 14th, 2019, this man was exploring one of the deserts when he witnessed this. He was standing in the scorching heat of the Portuguese desert when he saw it. At first, it looked like a man, but something was wrong. The figure moved slowly, its limbs too long, its gait unnatural. For just a few seconds, the creature walked in the open, then slipped behind a bush and vanished.
Caralho, velho. Puta, onde que tá agora, pô? Olha lá, olha lá. Véi do céu. Falei que eu tava vendo alguma coisa. Lá do teu lado, lá, pô. Nem 4 horas ainda, velho. Ainda tem que nem pra Lençóis e voltar pra Bauru ainda.
Could hardly breathe. The stories of the chupacabra flooded his mind, but this was worse. Its presence felt real, dangerous. The desert felt more empty now. Yet he knew something was still wandering out there. In conclusion, the eerie experiences captured in these paranormal investigations highlight just how mysterious and terrifying the unseen world can be. From haunted houses to deserted forests, from ancient legends to modern encounters, each case showcases moments where reality and the supernatural blur into one. Whether it's ghostly apparitions, poltergeist activity, or strange creatures lurking in the shadows, these moments left a lasting impression, not only on those who experienced them, but on all who dare to watch. The paranormal is out there, waiting to be uncovered.
There's two eyes in the middle of the white ball.
When cops are confronted with paranormal activities, they experience a range of emotions, including fear and shock on how to proceed with the investigation. So, here are 10 haunted houses that terrified the cops. Starting with the cops who were sent to a haunted house in order to evacuate a family. The house can be found in the city of Puerto Montt, which is located in the southern region of Chile. It is situated on a neighborhood corner and is flanked by other houses that have a similar appearance. The unexplained occurrences that have taken place within the home, on the other hand, are anything but conventional. Carabineros, who are Chile's military police force, were sent to the spot in 2007 after a family reported that there had been paranormal activity at the house. After the incident, Sergeant Boris Olivaria gave an interview to the local newspaper in which he detailed how the cops discovered several broken windows and mattresses outside the house. At first, it was strange, but once inside, I was questioning one of the owners when a trowel fell down from the attic. The officer claimed he called upon the devil while in the house, telling him to get out of there. When I was leaving, I felt a knife that grazed my back. Since I was wearing a bulletproof vest, I was able to avoid injury. Because the authorities were concerned about the well-being of the people who were living inside the house, they gave the people who were living there a place to stay that evening so that they would not have to spend a night in the house that was said to be haunted. Furthermore, footage of the dwelling shows lights blaring from inside as people outside watch the events unfold. An item, which seems to be a plate, can be seen flying across the room at one point. It appears as if it was hurled by a strange entity. In addition, the family who resided in the house said that they had seen a shadow in their films and photographs, and that they had heard cries in the middle of the night that instructed them to leave the property. Strange incidents weren't limited to the police and the home's occupants. Journalist Alexis Ruiz of Puerto Montt Informa media source recounted having her own attacks after visiting the family. At the time of the conversation, a sack of potatoes caught on fire. Then a vase was thrown to the floor, and later I was attacked with a kitchen utensil, Alexis said. Ruiz expressed belief there was something trying to prevent her from carrying out her research in the home. Inside, we felt strange, very exhausted, depressed, she said. It seemed that something was trying to prevent us from finishing the interview. Our telephone signal was cut off without explanation. The following month, another journalist, Vanessa Darroch, visited the house and said she initially saw things fly. Nevertheless, she said that nothing happened when they started filming the house with the camera. This led Darroch to claim the haunting was a trick, though she did admit there was an entity in the house. It all begins with the cops who were sent to a haunted house after a homeowner released a horrifying video of the inside. After receiving a notification from their Ring security camera that there was movement, a homeowner stated that they had experienced some kind of personal discomfort. It seems that the footage from the Ring camera, which was installed in their garage, shows a white vapor or mist moving from one side of the room to the other. I'm home alone, and my garage cam alerted me to this. I'm both confused and creeped out, the homeowner told the cops. This happened a few days ago. I came home in the evening after a long work shift, plopped on the couch and picked up my phone to catch up on events and news. Suddenly, my garage cam alerted me to motion, which was a surprise and got my heart racing since I knew I was home alone, the homeowner stated. When the cops asked whether it was a reflection, the homeowner responded as follows. The garage camera rarely detects a non-person. There's been a handful of times when it caught the reflection of passing cars during the summer days. However, it was pitch black dark when this happened. The cam always detects us when we open the interior door, but I hadn't opened it since earlier that morning. Some social media users admitted they were more than a little creeped out by the video. Wow, that's definitely creepy. Are you the first to live in this home? Do you know anything of its history? One user wrote. Your garage is a portal, just a ghost passing through, wrote another. It all starts with the cops who were sent to a haunted house after the homeowner reported seeing a person made of smoke. The video that was recorded at 1:35 in the morning shows what looks to be a spooky mist forming in the poster's kitchen. The homeowner told the cops, "I got a notification at 1:35 a.m. This mist was dense enough to trigger my camera, too thick for a vape. Nobody smokes in the house. No smoke alarms triggered in the home. In the video, there is a figure that looks to be moving and is surrounded by smoke. After that, it vanishes into thin air without any apparent reason." The video has caused a number of individuals, including the cops, to experience a sense of dread. "That is likely a demon," said one of the cops, adding, "Literally, they travel in black smoke when they are not possessing something." Another went on, "Toward the end, it looks like it coalesces into a human form, left arm and shoulder. Good catch." It all begins with the cops who were sent to a haunted house in Atlanta because a mother had recorded something terrifying on her home security system. Thus, with her daughter Lauren, who's 21 years old, she was watching television in her bedroom. She checked her phone and got a notice that read, "Your entryway camera saw something." A picture from the CCTV was attached to the message, and it seemed to depict a bearded, translucent man figure dressed in what appeared to be pajamas. Despite the fact that this is enough to terrify anybody, what Jennifer and Lauren saw next certainly left them shaken. The figure in the image seemed to be an identical replica of Jennifer's son Robbie, who passed away 2 years ago at the age of 23. In an attempt to find out what was going on, the ladies went to the kitchen, but there was no one there, and there was no sign that someone had broken in. Jennifer's encounter had left her feeling moved, despite the fact that she has not seen anything weird in her home since that time. She told the cops, "Now, I feel like he was letting me know he is happy in heaven. That brings me some comfort, but I still just think it's weird. I'm in awe. Why did this happen to me? I haven't seen anything since, and I had never seen a ghost before. I don't know what to believe. I'm still in a state of shock." Most likely, Jennifer was not taken aback by the fact that Robbie would pay her a visit. According to her kid is one of the most giving, caring, loving human beings. In point of fact, Jennifer and Robbie devoted a significant amount of their time to assisting others, even establishing a charitable organization to provide assistance to those who are struggling with addiction, because Robbie too suffered from addiction. He ultimately passed away at the age of 23 as a result of an accidental overdose of fake Xanax, which he administered himself. It all starts with the cops who were sent to a haunted house. So, Emily Snyder is certain that the terrifying video from her security camera may reveal the spirit of her dead husband. Emily said that she had gotten a motion alert from the front porch cameras at the family home on August 17th, 2022, which happens to be almost 1 year to the day after her first encounter. Also, the video from the first encounter shows a blurry humanoid that seems to materialize out of thin air before looking down at something. After that, the figure disappeared. Emily continued by telling the cops, "Knowing what Jeremy looks like, we were struck by the similarities. Is it just grief-fueled perception? I'm torn between wanting so desperately to believe that he still exists somewhere, somehow, but I'm also trying to explain this rationally." In addition, she shared an image of her dead husband, which revealed that he was bald on the top of his head and had a horseshoe-shaped hairline on the back and sides of his head. Her post has received more than 100 likes, and many who are interested in the paranormal seemed to be persuaded that the video reveals Jeremy's spirit. One person responded to the post saying, "Looks like him to me, same ears, same hairline." A second said, "Definitely looks like him, stopping by to say hello. And if it gives you peace, then he accomplished what he was trying to do." And a third said, "OMG, that's the man. He does look like your husband. I would say it could be. Who knows? I've had weird things happen to me when a death happened in my family." It all begins with the cops who were sent to a haunted place after a surveillance camera captured a frightening voice. In other words, the video seems to depict ghostly whispers. Many people think that Edinburgh Manor, which is located in Iowa, is haunted. and this video was captured there. Historically, the land was used as a poor farm, which provided aged, impoverished, mentally ill, and crippled individuals with the opportunity to receive food and shelter in return for their work on a farm located in the vicinity. The last inhabitants departed in the year 2010. On the website of the house, it is said that there have been over 230 verified fatalities that have occurred inside the house, which is now used as a location for doing ghost hunting excursions. A tall guy dressed in a cowboy hat and a long duster is one of the ghosts who are supposed to stay in the house, as stated by the Paranormal website, The Little House of Horrors. This man is said to share the basement with a spectre known as the Joker, who is famous for his wacky grin and tendency to throw dishes on the floor. It would seem that the first level is inhabited by a jovial young lady by the name of Susie, whilst the second story is inhabited by a ghost that has a penchant for grabbing people by the toes. If all of this seems a little bit out of the ordinary, this video could be able to persuade you that there is something scary going on at Edinburgh Manor. The homeowner told the cops, "I have investigated the manor several times. This particular video, we caught voices." In response, one cop said, "Can confirm this place is haunted. I was here a few years ago to do an investigation overnight." On the other hand, there are many who believe that they have debunked the ghost theory by stating that the frequency of the sound was most likely that of a wild animal searching the property for leftover food scraps. This is 100% just an animal and more nonsense from the ghost hunting community pretending to apply science to a very obvious and mundane explanation, says one unconvinced user. It all starts with the cops who were sent to a haunted house because a family had captured a ghost on camera. Also, on the Facebook page of the British Paranormal Society, a photograph of the eerie figure was uploaded. This Facebook user said that their parents had lived in the home for 15 years and that they have always heard someone walking upstairs day and night in the master bedroom to the master bath. In addition, they said that the family often made jokes about the ghost, saying things like, "Oh, there they go again, needing to go to the bathroom." However, things became so bad that the family had to contact the police. They heard something strolling above them once again, but this time the poster's mother got a notification on her camera upstairs that takes a picture when there is motion. A spectral person that looks to be white and standing next to a bed is clearly seen in the picture. The event took place on July 14th at around 8 p.m. It was further explained at the police station that the house was constructed in the year 1998. It went on to say, "There was only one family before us. All of us remember the old neighbours saying that their sick mother-in-law stayed with them, but never got full confirmation that she died in the house or not." One paranormal enthusiast said in response to the video, which racked up more than 100 likes, "Looks to me like a lady in a white nightgown." Another wrote, "Looks like she's peeking around the white object." And a third said, "Looks like a woman semi-side on, white, shortish hair and jammies." It all begins with the cops who were sent to a haunted house since there was a complaint of a demon being present. An eerie photograph was taken at Combe Abbey. During a trip to the attraction with his family, a little kid of 11 years old took a photograph of the eerie visage that was seen looking out of one of the windows of the ancient structure. So, Oliver Tatham, his sister Rebecca, and their grandfather Eric went to the grounds of Combe Abbey to participate in the Illuminate Light path. Mr. Tatham said that he had been making a joke about informing his grandkids to keep an eye out for ghosts when they were walking down the route. However, Oliver decided to take the assignment seriously and examined each window of the building with great attention to detail. Suddenly, he became aware of something that is not typical. Oliver saw a lady who was standing extremely motionless in front of one of the windows on the first level. According to him, she seemed to be dressed in Victorian-era garb due to the fact that she was wearing a black dress with a white cap and apron over it. Oliver told the cops, "When I saw this strange figure looking out of the window, staring at the garden, I took a photo on my mum's phone, which I was using to take pictures of the lights. I zoomed in as far as I could. She was much clearer to my eye than in the photo." After that, Oliver called his mother and sister over to have a look. But he said that while he was doing so, the figure did not move at all, but suddenly disappeared completely. After returning home, the little boy and his grandfather turned to the internet to do research on the ghosts of Coombe Abbey. They came across the tragic tale of Matilda, who had worked as a maid at the abbey at the time when it was inhabited by the Craven family. This is not the first time that it has been said that Matilda has been caught on camera. During their visit in 2018, paranormal investigators claimed to have seen a number of apparitions, one of which was the capture of this picture, known as Matilda. It begins with the cops being sent to a haunted house because the homeowner was feeling uneasy about strange lights that were captured on her camera. So, a lady in Jacksonville, Florida, began to see some odd behavior inside her house. It did not take her long to record the lights that she considers to be of a paranormal nature. However, not everyone was of the same opinion. On the other hand, the footage that she recorded on video was sufficient for the local news to publish. She gave the following explanation to the news and the cops. When I woke up, I checked the webcam and it looked like a giant strobe light. In the footage, which takes about 30 seconds for the sound to come on, the woman points out the odd light and laments to a man there with her. I don't know what to do, Clifton. This is insane. There's 2 eyes in the middle of the white ball. Is it an angel? I'm so scared to go in there. What the heck? Is it a ghost with energy, and it's energy that it's been drawing from something? She then reveals that she put sage all over the house and is praying for protection, noting, I felt so helpless. The homeowner continues by stating that people never believe when other people see anything paranormal, even when there is a video proof, and that anybody who witnesses this will come up with some type of explanation for what they saw. Also, people indicate that what she is looking at is nothing more than a reflection. One person writes, the light is a circle shape which is coming from the lenses of the camera and the sunlight outside, and another says it's called lighting. However, there are also ghost believers, with one stating, I think it is a spirit. Yes. It all begins with the cops being called to a haunted house after a terrified couple posted a video of a ghost that they couldn't explain. Thus, the ghost is attempting to walk their dog, according to the couple who feel that their CCTV may have filmed the experience. Matthew, a 35-year-old construction company manager from Australia, and his wife were reviewing camera footage when they saw the figure. Matthew told the cops, the look of terror that came over my face when she showed me what was going on in the room next to us. It just looked like a tall person walking our dog. The police also asked him questions about his antique cabinet. So, the following is an explanation that Matthew provided on their antique cabinet and the items that are contained inside it. The cabinet's full of antiques from all over the world and passed away relatives or dead pets, all their ashes and urns. It looks like it came from there. When asked to describe the supposed figure, Matthew continued by saying, it has a perfectly round head and leaves a trail of light behind it. It walks like it's on a mission, like it wants to get somewhere. You can almost see the arms swinging. Explaining that their dog remained obedient throughout the whole ordeal, Matthew came to the conclusion that the ghost was a relative or family member. Matthew said that after becoming aware of the footage and releasing it on the internet, people were going wild for it. He said, on the paranormal page, it's still going crazy now. I keep thinking, don't say that. I don't want any more ideas of what it might be. In the hundreds of comments that were left on the video of the purported ghost sighting, many people expressed their belief that the footage was evidence of the existence of a genuine ghost. As stated by one individual, 99% of what gets posted here is pareidolia, seeing an image in a random pattern, or wishful thinking. This is the 1% that gives me legit goosebumps. Holy cow, that is some cash. Another individual stated, that is most definitely a spirit. You can see the head, the shoulders, the body, and the way it's walking like a human. No doubt about it. On the other hand, some individuals were not as readily persuaded by the footage. One individual who was skeptical made the following observation. If you know photography, you would know the light on in the closet on the right will distort the dark background. No ghost, but a human and a dog walking into the hallway. Moreover, the following was Matthew's last statement made at the police station. I think it's really got us thinking and wondering what else is out there. Once this dies down, I'll be quite happy to get back to pretending that only things I can see and feel are real.
corre! Sai daqui, velho! Vai! Vira! Sai! Vai! Vai, velho! Vamos! Cadê? Vai!
From encountering dangerous criminals to encountering paranormal activities, cops have to face it all in their line of duty. Have you ever wondered what happens when cops realize they encounter paranormal activity? Do they get terrified or handle the situation with bravery? We will find out soon, as this video is going to reveal it all. On the 7th of March 2017, in Yogyakarta, Indonesia, a hospital CCTV camera recorded something that wasn't meant to be seen by humans. This footage was sent to the police department by Yogyakarta Hospital, as the staff thought a human might be involved in these paranormal activities. Cops were left speechless after witnessing this video. There were no signs of wind. The trees were still, and all the other stuff except this patient's bed was still. For a while, the bed kept moving in the forward and backward direction. Some unexplainable force was moving this bed, but wait for what is going to happen next. Yes, the bed was thrown on the grass side. It looked like some ghosts were playing with this bed. It might be some ghost or other creature that can't be seen on this camera. These things were only happening when there was no human around. Then this happened. When this man was filling his water bottle from the dispenser, the other bed also started moving. But as soon as he tried to approach the bed, it made a visible movement, though no visible force was around. So what was making them move? Some ghost or some other paranormal creature? Cops were left clueless about these activities. With that being said, let's move on to our next case. On March 2nd, 2013, Steve Smartringhau visited Longleat and captured something chilling. He saw a ghost, or more accurately, the ghost's shadow, moving slowly down the stairs, wandering through the old house like it was searching for something or someone. The legend behind this haunting goes back to Lady Louisa Carteret, who, at just 19, married Thomas Thynne, the 2nd Viscount of Weymouth, in 1733. When she moved into Longleat, far from home, she brought her servants with her to ease the transition. But now, centuries later, something dark, something unexplainable wanders in the house. Lady Louisa's ghost is said to haunt the ground floor and servant quarters, desperately searching for her lost footman. Meanwhile, the footman roams the first floor, endlessly seeking Lady Louisa. They never find each other, trapped in an eternal search, their shadows passing through the dark halls of Longleat. It's as if their sorrow and longing have bound their spirits to the house forever.
I think I saw a ghost.
Will they ever find peace this way? But their presence is surely making the Longleat house famous for its eerie existence. Moving on to our next eerie paranormal footage. On September 20th, 2024, it was just another night for the cops on their routine bike patrol. Everything seemed normal, but then something happened, something very strange to believe. One of the cops suddenly froze, his eyes wide and empty. He slowly raised his hand, pointing down a dark alley. No one knew why he was doing this, but they found their answers soon.
Você concorda com ela?
Já que ela não vai salvar os filhos delas, vocês vão ser levados junto com os filhos dela.
The camera followed his finger, turning in the direction he pointed. That's when they saw it. A dark figure, unlike anything they had ever seen, moving toward them very fast. It didn't walk or run, it rushed toward them with the speed of light, its shape twisting in the shadows. They were all panicked. They knew they had to escape, so they ran, with chills running down their spines.
Que brincadeira? Martin, o que você tá falando, velho?
But as they looked back, they realized something worse. One of their own, the cop who had pointed, wasn't running. He stood there, motionless. Whatever had taken him was beyond their control. All they could do was run and hope that the creature wouldn't catch them.
Corre! Sai daqui, velho! Vai! Tá vindo! Sai! Vai! Vai! Vamos! Cadê? Sai! Cadê o...
Was it some paranormal creature or some other ghost wandering in the silence of the alley?
Que brincadeira? Martin, o que você tá falando, velho?
With these questions still in our minds, let's move on to our fourth case. On June 26th, 2024, this YouTuber, Chamos, along with his friends, decided to install cameras inside the haunted house. Everyone said it was cursed, that no one could stay there without feeling the terror creeping in. They didn't know what to expect, but what they captured was beyond anything they had imagined.
Fala pessoal, bem-vindos a mais um vídeo. Hoje a gente vai fazer uma experiência de arrepiar nesse casarão aí, ó. Olha só, deixa eu mostrar pra vocês aqui, ó. Olha que casarão tenso. A gente já entrou ali, na verdade, rapaziada, e a gente já deixou câmeras ali dentro gravando. Elas estão gravando lá dentro nesse momento que a gente tá aqui. E vamos ver se elas capturam alguma coisa. A gente não vai deixar o local, porque aqui é o centro da cidade. Pode vir morador de rua aqui, dormir, querer passar uma noite. Eu acredito que ninguém passa uma noite nesse local, mas vai se saber. Às vezes o cara não sabe da história, não sabe que é assombrado, entra e acaba levando nossos equipamentos, né? E vamos ver, a gente vai deixar ali, vai ficar mais ou menos aqui fora uns 40 minutos, 1 hora esperando para ver se a gente grava alguma coisa lá dentro para vocês, fechou? Tá aqui o Jota, né, Jota, para fazer o vídeo.
Salve, galera.
Boa essa experiência de fazer isso aí, né, Jota, aqui?
Com certeza, é uma tentativa que a gente não vai estar lá, às vezes tem espíritos que não gostam, que a gente se aproxima, né?
Verdade.
A gente consegue, talvez, igual a gente filmou ali, aquele dia, né, que filmou lá.
The house was old and abandoned, and something about it just felt very eerie and wrong. There was a heavy silence, and every step they took seemed to sound louder than it should. But what gave us chills was the footage they observed later. Something that made even the bravest of them hesitate to step inside that house. Around 10:37 p.m., paranormal activities started to happen there. Movements of lifeless objects were recorded when no one was in the house. All of the stuff was recorded in their camera that they left inside that haunted house. The opening and closing of the sliding door and footsteps on the stairs had no possible explanation as no one was around. The YouTuber claimed that, as they set up their cameras, hoping to catch something. As we stepped out, the door slammed shut behind us, out of nowhere. No wind, no movement, just that bang. His heart skipped a beat, and he wasn't the only one who felt it. A heavy, a very dark energy. The kind that makes you goosebumps all over your body. Then, around 10:58, the camera recorded that. Who was doing all this stuff? Paranormal creatures in the house, or the ghosts living there? They waited, watched, and observed from outside, hoping that the cameras were recording. Minutes and then hours passed, but the feeling didn't go away. Jota couldn't shake the feeling that something was watching us. Then they heard it again, a soft noise, as if something moving inside. Was it the wind? Or was it whatever haunted that place?
Não, acabei de escutar uma porta fechar, velho. Se eu não tenho nada, parece que foi uma porta que bateu. Só tem que ver se a câmera tá posicionada certo pra ter gravado isso, tá ligado?
Porta ou janela ali.
Ou foi janela ou foi porta, nós devemos saber daqui. O Jefinho tá pressentindo alguma coisa aqui fora, mano.
É só um sentimento, mas Deixa acontecer, eu quero primeiro dar uma olhada nas câmeras.
A gente tá ouvindo barulho aqui de fora, né, Jota? Tá ouvindo barulho?
Eu acho que aquele barulho ali deve ter pegado na câmera.
Eu escutei passos lá dentro, cara. Daqui de fora.
Cara, é que aqui a gente escuta.
They weren't sure what was waiting for them in those recordings, but one thing is clear. Something is there, and it doesn't want them inside. With this visit to a haunted house, let's move on to our fifth case. On December 9th, 2020, this YouTuber was just wandering the woods when he came across this. At first, it looked like just some people performing their religious ritual, but it got terrifying when he stayed there for a few more minutes and understood what was going on there.
¿Y se arrastra?
No, güey. No agredas, güey. No les avientes. Amigos, se van a encabronar, güey. Cuidado. Nadie interrumpirá.
Ya nomás está uno, güey.
Sí.
He didn't think much of it and kept watching from a distance, but then everything changed. The figures were not just praying, their movements became darker, slower, like they were preparing for something much more sinister. He stayed hidden, his heart pounding, hoping they wouldn't see him. But then he noticed it. In the hands of one of the figures, a small shape, too small to be anything but horrifying.
Es un ritual, amigos. Chequen. No mames. Una gallina, loco. Mira, ahí está el otro, El guardián, mira, ahí está. Ahí enfrente, mira. Ahí está el guardián, mira.
Yes, it was no ordinary thing, but a fetus. The witches were holding it, using it in their twisted ritual. A baby, too young to have a voice, caught in their evil ritual.
Ay, ¿qué fue eso, güey? Cuidado. Alabado sea el Señor, dice. Sí parece un feto eso. Miren. Está marcado.
He couldn't believe what he was seeing. Chills ran down his spine, but he couldn't look away. The sound grew louder. The ritual was getting more intense with each passing minute. He was frozen in fear. He wanted to run, but he knew if they saw him, he might not make it out of the woods alive.
¿Qué fue eso? Cuidado, 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 cuidado. Alabado sea el Señor, dice. Sí parece un feto eso. Miren. Está marcado. ¿Cómo tú lo pediste? Chequen. Sí parece un feto eso.
With this disturbing case coming to an end, let's move on to our next case. On the 14th of May 2016, this boy was about to go out on his bike when he realized something was wrong with his bike. It was around 4 p.m. and he started checking out his bike, but soon stayed here to figure out what was wrong with his vehicle. It was turning into his worst nightmare. Everything was normal at this point, but things were about to take a terrifying turn. As soon as he got up, after checking the motor, he tried to start it by grabbing both hand clutch and ignition switch. He was pushed. It was not just a normal push, but a brutal push by a black shadow that was quite visible in the CCTV footage. No one would have believed this boy if it wasn't recorded by the camera there. Though the boy stood up again, he was trembling in pain. He was thrown to the ground intentionally. Did the ghost have personal issues with this boy? What was the motive behind this attack? We will never have answers to such questions. On November 11th, 2021, it was a regular night in South Africa when the CCTV cameras in a quiet neighborhood started recording something no one was prepared to see. At first, the footage looked normal, just the empty street under a dark sky. But then, out of nowhere, a shadow appeared. It moved slowly, gliding across the road, its form twisted and unnatural. The witch wasn't walking. Floated, hovering above the ground on its witchcraft. As it reached the end of the street, it stopped. Something even more chilling happened next. The shadow started to change. It transformed into a human-like figure, but the limbs were wrong. Too weird, too thin. The camera caught every eerie detail as the figure began performing strange, slow movement, like some sort of dark ritual. The video cut out suddenly, leaving only silence and the deep, unsettling feeling that what had been captured wasn't meant to be seen. With that being said, let's move on to our 8th piece of footage. On August 8, 2011, someone decided to explore the Shapiro residence, not knowing that it was way more haunted than the rumors claimed it to be. Philip Shapiro and his family had lived there for years, but lately the strange occurrences were becoming unbearable. Doors slammed shut by themselves, objects disappeared and then reappeared in weird places. The kitchen was the worst. One night, on the advice of Dr. von Kosselter, Philip set up a camera, hoping to catch whatever was haunting their home. The house was silent, the windows were closed, no one was moving, but something else was.
Hello?
The kitchen light was moving by itself. The chairs in the kitchen began to stack themselves. One by one, they lifted into the air, almost as if invisible hands were arranging them. Philip watched in shock from the doorway, his camera catching everything. The temperature in the room dropped, and he could see his breath in the air. Slowly at first, like a gentle breeze was passing through the house, but the windows were closed. No wind, no reason for anything to move. The kitchen lamp swung harder and harder, as if someone was pushing it, yet no one was there. The video ends. Philip didn't even have to look to know where it had fallen. The chairs were now piled impossibly high. The poltergeist had made its presence known, and it wasn't finished with it. What was behind all these paranormal activities? With that being said, Let's move on to our last case. On August the 29th, 2016, almost 8 years ago, this creepy footage from a hospital nurse was uploaded on YouTube. This was first submitted to cops as the staff thought that it might be an intruder trying to scare the staff working late at night. If you look closely, you will see a black-orange shadow peeking from a door. It's not visible, but anyone with a good sight can observe that this creature kept exposing itself to the camera. The nurse was shivering in fear. She was not alone in the hallway, but as she was taking steps backward while keeping an eye on the shadow, it was trying to come nearer and nearer. The creature had a big head with skinny limbs. It was not a human or an animal. Maybe it was something from outer space or a ghost. We will always be clueless about such incidents. On January 7th, 2019, Alex Nunez, an Armory security officer at the San Francisco Armory for over 5 years, experienced something he would never forget. The building, long rumored to be haunted, had always seemed quiet during his shifts until that night. As he patrolled the empty halls, he suddenly heard the unmistakable sound of chairs moving in the lounge. There shouldn't have been anyone there. Gripping his phone, he started recording, his heart pounding as he walked toward the source of the noise. When he reached the lounge, he paused. Then, without warning, the two heavy doors to the lounge creaked open, swinging inward as if someone or something had passed through. Alex froze, staring at the empty room. The windows were all shut tight.
Oh, hell no. This is what I'm talking about, dude. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. I'm here in this building by myself, bruh. By myself.
Fuck. He was completely alone, but the sound of footsteps echoed in his mind. In that chilling moment, he knew something was there, watching him from the shadows. In each of these eerie encounters, the presence of the unknown is undeniable. From haunted homes to shadowy figures lurking in dark alleys, these stories remind us that there are forces beyond our understanding. Whether it's ghosts, spirits, or something more sinister, one thing is certain. When the supernatural reveals itself, it leaves behind a fear that lingers long after the encounter. The line between the living and the dead is thinner than we think. This universe is filled with mysteries humans couldn't solve up until now. These mysteries have sinister paranormal creatures along with them. On September 16th, 2022, deep in the shadowy woods, a group of army soldiers stumbled upon something no one would believe. They visited a site deep in the forest that people claimed as a place where a UFO crashed, but when they reached there, they encountered something far scarier than just a UFO. As they moved closer, a shiver ran through them. A pale figure, tall and thin, with a really big head and its eyes reflecting an unnatural glow in the dim light, though they were black. Was this an alien? Were they encountering a freaking alien on Earth?
Southeast approved, 6 Papa, thank you.
The soldiers froze as it turned towards them, emitting a low, disturbing sound. They couldn't shake the feeling that this was only the beginning of something far more terrifying. This wasn't just a ghost that they used to hear stories of. This was their next horrifying nightmare. Who would think that a simple visit would turn into such a terrifying encounter? With that being said, let's move on to our second paranormal activity. On April 29th, 2010, a chilling video surfaced from Pitcher, Oklahoma, showing what many believe to be a real goblin-like creature standing under a street lamp. This video was uploaded by a YouTuber, MonsterFish5000, which left people shaken because one couldn't look at it for a very long time. Only watching it could give you shivers down the spine.
Okay, dude, I swear, man, I saw something over there. He's got, like, I don't know, it looked like a man, but I don't know what the fuck it was. It was walking around. I don't know, this thing doesn't pick up shit. No, fuck.
The witness couldn't shake the sight. It looked like a man, but something about it was wrong and weird. Its movements were jerky, unnatural, as it circled in and out of the shadows, its form barely visible in the dim light. But what's about to happen will leave you on edge.
Fuck me. What the fuck? Shit.
The creature seemed to sense it was being watched, and it paused, looking straight into the camera before slipping back into the darkness. With such long ears and a tiny nose, was it a goblin?
I don't fucking know, man. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Every instinct screamed to get out, to leave whatever that thing was behind. Moving on to our third paranormal activity. On March 19th, 2022, two shadow hunters decided to explore the cemetery. They returned to the haunted cemetery with one purpose only: to find the woman in white, a demon who haunted two places at once. Splitting into two teams, they set out, each moving towards one of the cursed sites, the old graveyard and the portal to hell. But little did they know what was waiting for them there.
Tá, ó, a gente tá aqui, a gente vai esperar vocês chegar lá mesmo, aí vocês dão um toque.
Não, sim, a hora que a gente chegar lá, a gente começa junto, tá ligado? Melhor.
Tá.
Ó, galera, a gente chegou aqui agora, começamos a arrumar as coisas, né, gordinho? E olha aqui aí, isso aqui é novo, mano. Essa luz aqui nunca ficou acesa, você viu? Mas, mano, se for ver, vai até ajudar a gente, mano, a enxergar aqui dentro.
Ô, poltrona aí. Foi aqui onde o Yuri passou mal aquela vez, ficou ruim, mano. Falou que viu ela aqui.
Foi aqui mesmo.
Vou passar o K18. Vamos ver se vai acusar alguma coisa.
Ó o portão, ó o portão. Tá vendo? Ó o portão mexendo. Fechou.
Fechou, mano.
As the sky darkened, a strange light flickered, casting shadows across the cemetery. Yuri, who had felt sick here before, suddenly froze. He whispered, "She's here." The air turned heavy. Static crackled through the walkie-talkies, bringing frantic voices from the other team. They'd heard footsteps, and then she appeared, her white dress ghostly in the dark.
Thor, o que foi? O que foi? Thor. Levanta. Você tá bem? Tá aqui lanterna. Sai daí, mano, sai daí. Sai, mano, sai.
Yuri kept his flashlight pointed toward the cemetery gate. He thought he saw a figure, but when he focused, there was nothing. Yet he felt a presence, watching, waiting.
Mano, faz o seguinte, vamos ter que ir embora, velho. Ó, que isso, velho? Mano, parece que é o walkie-talkie, mano, que tá fazendo isso. Parece que tá, velho. Oh! Mano, que grito que foi esse, velho? Vai.
Volta. Você tá bem, mano? Você tá bem? Vai. Sai da mata primeiro, sai da mata. Sai. Vai, mano, vai. Nossa, mano, que susto, velho. Que susto, Thor. Sai pra fora aqui, ó. Sai pra fora. Fica aqui dentro, não, mano.
Onde que foi? Gordinho. Mano, que é isso, velho? Ó, minha lanterna.
Que isso, Yuri?
Then, out of nowhere, she appeared, a pale figure floating between the gravestones. Her white dress flew although there was no wind, and her head was tilted as if listening. Yuri's flashlight flickered, the batteries suddenly draining. The group froze, barely breathing as she moved toward them without a sound. Every step they took backward, she seemed to match, drawing closer, her face shrouded in shadows. A deep, hollow laugh echoed in the distance, but they didn't know there was not an open door for their return.
Mano.
Oi, que mano?
Mano.
Que aquilo, velho?
Ô, Gordinho, atira, velho.
Sai.
Atira, Gordinho.
Que aí, mano? A arma travou.
Sai.
Travou.
Sai. Sai, vai pra trás. Vai, sai. Vai, sai. Que é isso, velho?
Tá trancando, velho?
Mentira, velho. Troca aí. Mano, quem que trancou isso aqui, velho?
Não sei, velho.
Tá trancado mesmo, mano.
Você bota a bala, vai.
Vai, bota aí.
Agora foi. Foi, mano. Vai embora agora, Yuri.
They tried to retreat, stumbling over gravestones and tangled roots. The walkie-talkie in Yuri's hand buzzed violently. "She's behind us," someone said. But when they turned, she was in front of them again, blocking the exit.
Mano, vamos ter que se... Gordinho.
Ela aí, Yuri.
Sai, Gordinho. Sai. Vai, mano, vamos pegar os caras, vai. Bora.
They could see her outline, her face still hidden and her presence eerily suffocating. It was like she was everywhere at once, no matter which way they turned. They knew there was no way out.
Ô, louco, mano, ele voou, mano. Praticamente 1 metro, ele voou. Ele chegou perto da poltrona, foi a poltrona, né? Ele voou, mano. Do nada. Voou.
Aí foi a hora que ela apareceu.
Aí ela apareceu atrás da poltrona. ela levantou a mão assim, tá ligado? Não sei se ela ia fazer.
A hora que ela levantou a mão.
É, mano, ela ia fazer alguma coisa pra gente. Aí eu consegui dar o tiro, peguei a arma do Thor e dei um tiro. Aí ela sumiu.
Ó, não sei se foi coincidência, mano, mas foi bem na hora que você falou que deu o tiro, a gente escutou o barulho lá, tá ligado? No túmulo dela. E ela tá se levantando de cima do túmulo, mano.
Como assim, Yuri?
Olha, se levantou depois.
Na mesma hora?
Foi, praticamente parece que você deu o tiro aqui, a hora que você falou que ela sumiu. Ela apareceu lá, mano. Ela começou a levantar do túmulo. Aí o gordinho pegou a frente, mano. Só que, falhou a bala, mano. Não atirava. Aí nós falou, vamos correr, mano. Nós não tem o que fazer. Nós foi sair de lá, portão trancado. Nós não conseguia sair. O gordinho trocou a bala. Aí nós voltou atrás dela, mano. Você é louco. Foi uma confusão lá, mano.
Então ela consegue, mano, aparecer em 2 lugares ao mesmo tempo.
Ela consegue, velho.
Ô, louco. Eu tava falando pro Thor se ela conseguia ou não. Então a gente acha que ela não conseguia. Ô, louco, mas ela apareceu aqui, então ir lá pra vocês. Ô, a distância que é, velho.
Rushing to their bikes, they sped off, hearts racing. Yet they couldn't shake the feeling she was still behind them, wandering in the shadows just beyond the reach of their headlights. As they escaped into the night, Yuri dared one last look back, and there she was, standing at the cemetery gate, watching, waiting for them to return. With that being said, let's move on to our 4th case of another horrifying paranormal activity. On April 18th, 2010, they thought vandals were breaking in, so they set up cameras. But just after midnight, the footage revealed something much darker, something they didn't expect at all. Out of nowhere, the shelf door swung open slowly, creaking, before slamming shut on its own. Shadows flickered across the room. They were shocked to witness these paranormal activities, but something far more sinister was about to happen. A wheelchair, tucked in the corner, began to roll forward on its own, moving in short, unsettling jerks as if someone unseen was pushing it. They watched the footage again, realizing they had captured pure paranormal activity, an eerie presence in their shop, moving objects as if playing a twisted game, leaving them with a chilling question. What was lurking there? What do you think it was? Even cops failed to figure it out. Let's move on to our 5th case. On August 17, 2018, in Delhi, it was a quiet night when this cop was on patrol. Suddenly, he saw something or someone standing in the middle of the road. Thinking it might be someone stranded, he flashed his car lights, but when the beam hit them, he realized he wasn't looking at a human.
Oh, काय सफेद रे
आज बता यार हम तो अभी देखा था क्या चीज हुआ हुआ
बे रुक
क्या चीज यार पूरा रोड में आज
आगे कर अपर डिपर मार तो क्रॉस होत बापा मन
ठीक है ना यार
अबे दो है बे.
Yes, these were ghosts, dressed in pure white. For a second, there was only one. Then, in the blink of an eye, it split into 2 figures, both staring right at him.
एक ही जन दिखा मुराद.
अबे एक जन वो देखो, वो ढालने देखो देख.
हाँ बे. चल बाबा, दिवास लेते चल भक्ति अब.
अबे ही ढानात बाबा.
चल भक्ति बाबा. रहन दे.
रुक एक जन का है. रुकना.
अरे रहन दे भैया, मरना नहीं हम जाते हम.
अबे देखना रुकना.
रहन दे बाबा, दुए जन है ना मन. कोई मतलब नहीं है. मर मुराजा.
आज किसे आ गया बाबा?
कहाँ मालूम बाबा, हरीली भी है ना रात के. घुमा था ना मन.
कैसे 2 के 3 दिखते रहे.
चल बाबा चलती. रहन दे. कांच मार लो चघा बाबा तुरंत.
अबे चघा जल्दी चघा.
चल भैया.
अरे आते छे रे.
अरे
With his heart pounding loudly in his chest, he felt trapped. It was clear this was no ordinary encounter. He had stumbled into something far darker, something paranormal. Knowing he couldn't just drive through them, he slowly reversed, the figures still watching, as if daring him to come closer.
चल बाबा चलती रहन दे रहन नहीं आना
करत काय म्हण
नहीं पता
अबे भागा 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 भागा
चल 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 बाबा
अबे दौड़त रे जल्दी कर मोड़ना 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 रे
हाँ ना रुकना तो कैसे मोड़ रहा हूँ
देख 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 नहीं दिखाते चल दिस कर आगे जान दे तो अबे हवा अबे
चल बाबा चल चल रहन दे निकल बगर चोरी रहन दे बेकार है यार
अभी मन खेला तो बाबा
चल बाबा चल चल
अबे फिर दौड़त बाबा
रहन दे बाबा चल निकल थी कोई मतलब नहीं है
He didn't wait to see if they would follow. His only thought was escape, leaving the road and its ghostly watchers behind. With that being said, let's move on to our sixth eerie encounter. On April 21st, 2012, a violent poltergeist activity got caught on tape. He'd set up the camera, hoping to catch whatever was making those eerie noises at night. But nothing could have prepared him for what he kept. Suddenly, without warning, the sofa flipped completely upside down, as if an invisible hand had thrown it in fury. He barely had a moment to process it before the glass doors of the shelves started flying open and slamming shut over and over. It was as if the entire room was alive with some dark, unseen rage. His heart raced. He knew this wasn't just a haunting. His attempt to catch them on tape had only angered the spirits, and now he was trapped with something far more dangerous than he'd ever imagined. With that being said, let's move on to our seventh paranormal encounter. On September 27, 2014, in a secure site inside a police station, this cop was observing surveillance camera footage when he noticed something really weird. He stood there, watching in disbelief. A pale, ghostly figure floated up the chain-link fence. Then, without a sound or pause, it drifted through the metal barrier like thin air, disappearing into the shadows beyond. But the most possible explanation for this was considering it a spirit or a ghost. As he dared to breathe, the figure reappeared, gliding back through the fence with a chilling ease that made his skin crawl. This wasn't just a shadow or a trick of the night. This was a pure, unearthly presence. And no fence, he realized, would ever keep it away. On January 23rd, 2013, security footage revealed something that no one would have expected to witnesses during broad daylight in the hallway. This man just walked, and he barely had a chance to glance down the hall when it happened. Out of nowhere, a dark, shadowy figure seemed to take form, creeping from the shadows and just lunging at him. The security footage caught every chilling second. The man, helpless, then felt an icy grip pull him to the ground. He tried to claw his way back, but the paranormal creature had him. Slowly, he was dragged down the cold, empty hallway, his hands scratching against the door as he struggled. Was it a ghost or a demon? Just as suddenly, the dark figure vanished, releasing him as if he'd never been touched. Heart pounding, he scrambled to his feet, bolting down the hall without a backward glance. Only the silent, grainy footage remained, capturing a haunting, unexplained force that struck, then disappeared into thin air. Are demons dangerous for the human breed? Will they continue disturbing until they vanish from this earth? Let's move on to our 9th piece of footage for this video. On December 20th, 2023, King High School, this janitor had heard the stories, the whispers of ghosts wandering in the halls of Florida's King High School, built over an old cemetery. As the janitor cleaned up after a wild party, he tried to brush it off, but tonight felt different. A red balloon drifted through the empty classroom, moving as if it had a mind of its own.
You guys. All right. Just to, I don't know, let you guys know this school was built on a cemetery. I don't know if that helps my situation or not, but previous janitors that have worked here have tried to tell everyone that, you know, every night something happens, some spooky shit, I don't know, paranormal or whatever you want to call it, but yeah, I didn't really believe him until tonight. I was in here cleaning up.
He laughed nervously, but the balloon followed him, no matter where he went. "Do your thing, you stupid balloon," he shouted, trying to shake off the chill creeping up his spine. The camera captured every terrifying moment.
After some students had thrown a party, but what's been freaking me out is this one right here. No matter where I'm at in the classroom or what I decide to do, it just follows me. And do your thing, you stupid balloon. I got you on camera now, so let's just, see? That right there. Shit. Just ooh, okay.
Shadows flickered in the corners of the room, and a figure darted across the hall behind him. His heart raced. The balloon wasn't just a prank, it was a sign. Panic surged through him as he realized he was not alone. Whatever haunted this place was watching, waiting, and it had chosen him.
See, no. It just follows me no matter what. Ooh! No, I can't.
As he stumbled back, the balloon floated closer, almost taunting him. He couldn't escape the feeling that something dark and sinister was right behind him, ready to strike. Moving on to our last paranormal footage for this video. On September 20th, 2024, it was just another night for the cops on their routine bike patrol. Everything seemed normal, but then something happened. Something very strange to believe. One of the cops suddenly froze, his eyes wide and empty. He slowly raised his hand, pointing down a dark alley. No one knew why he was doing this, but they found their answers soon.
Você concorda com ela?
Já que ela não vai salvar os filhos delas, vocês vão ser levados junto com os filhos dela.
The camera followed his finger, turning in the direction he pointed. That's when they saw it. A dark figure, unlike anything they had ever seen, moved toward them very fast. It didn't walk or run. It rushed toward them with the speed of light, its shape twisting in the shadows. They all were panicked. They knew they had to escape, so they ran with chills running down their spines.
Sem brincadeira? Martin, o que você tá falando, velho?
But as they looked back, they realized something worse. One of their own, the cop who had pointed, wasn't running. He stood there, motionless, as if he had become part of the darkness. He was possessed. Whatever had taken him was beyond their control. All they could do was run and hope that the creature wouldn't catch them next.
Velho, corre! Sai daqui, velho! Vai! Eu tô vindo! Vai! Vai! Vai, vai! Vamos! Cadê? Vai!
Was it some paranormal creature or some other ghost wandering in the silence of the night?
Você concorda com ela?
Já que ela não vai salvar os filhos delas, vocês vão ser levados junto com os filhos dela.
Sem brincadeira? Martin, o que você tá falando, velho?
As the chilling encounters unfold, one thing becomes clear. The line between our world and the supernatural is thinner than we think. Each case serves as a haunting reminder that the unknown lurks just beyond our sight, ready to challenge our understanding of reality. For more videos like this, make sure you hit the subscribe button and like this video. Comment below which case you find the most terrifying. Don't forget to press the bell icon for future notifications.